Charlie, I know you had mentioned, for instance, you were looking at some of the things that happened with Amazon Connect and how that got your attention.
Well, I think so. Before we dive into the
Yeah.
specifics, I think that there's a couple of things that make it interesting. Make you reinvent always an interesting topic. I mean, the first is, we each had to sort through and we each picked different things, which
Yes.
I think is always, one of those signs that they're just covering so much ground, and they are. And secondly, I think that while clearly they are not truly agnostic, they've got a horse in the race. And you would look at the Microsoft and OpenAI sort of on the other end of the spectrum from an AI perspective. This is as close as we have to a horizontal industry conference these days,
Hmm.
as far as so many players play in the AWS ecosystem that everyone is there. And I think because of that, and because they cover so much ground, it's really sort of an interesting bellwether as to where the market is going. And I think that's going to play into what we'll finish the show with. But specific to one of the ones that caught my eye was their announcement, wrong one, around Amazon Connect and bringing in some generative AI features. Mostly because I had almost forgotten they even had this. So
Hmm.
Amazon Connect is their answer to basically CX. So it's a contact center tool. So it's if you look at the spectrum of what AWS does, is they provide a whole bunch of hardcore infrastructure, very, very low level. They have sort of in the middle this abstraction layer where they try to provide a managed layer to sort of take out some of the complexity of hardcore infrastructure. Then they have a handful of apps like Amazon Connect, or what I would consider at the application layer, where they're, in this case, they're really competing with the five nines and the Genesises of the world.
Right.
And it's interesting because as you start looking at the world's converging, right? One of the touch points, the starting points for so many of the true Gen AI applications that are actually driving demonstrable and quantifiable value in the enterprise right now, it's in the contact center, right? We see Sierra having coming out of stealth, and they've got a unicorn evaluation right now, and founded by the former CEO of was he CEO of Salesforce or the co-CEO at Salesforce, and Brett Taylor, and so you have all this focus in this space. And what's interesting here is that AWS is clearly trying to leverage all of the work they're doing more broadly around AI and pull it into their Amazon Connect product and try to create a competitive beachhead from that. And I think that's really interesting, where they're connecting directly to Salesforce and doing a bunch of other things. They're leveraging Amazon Q as their conversational layer, all these different pieces. And so I think it's kind of just really interesting to see how this plays out, and is an example of where I think we're going to start seeing the battles fought at that AI application layer.
Yeah, the contact center has always been really difficult from an analytic perspective because it's simply impossible to manually review everything that happens in the contact center. There's always been a need for AI, both to assist the agent as well as to assist in the analysis of the customer experience. So, this is an area where Amazon has actually been successful in selling an app. That this is an area that Amazon has really struggled at. Amazon has actually tried to get into the app space and app world in a bunch of different ways, and this is the one that has been most relevant.